Have you ever had a moment where your past and your future collided? Where the choices you made years ago came back with a vengeance, and you had no idea how you'd make it to tomorrow? That was Jacob. He wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a king. He wasn't even the favorite. He was the second-born twin, born gripping his brother's heel, like he already knew life would try to keep him behind. From the beginning, Jacob was always fighting for what he believed was his. He schemed his way into a birthright, deceived his way into a blessing, and then ran for his life. For years, he built a new life, a family, wealth, stability, but no amount of livestock or land could silence the voice that haunted him, the brother he betrayed. The face of Esau still lingered in his mind like a ghost from a past he couldn't bury. And now, Esau was coming. With 400 men. Jacob was terrified. He had no army, no protection, just fear. So he did what many of us do when we feel helpless. He strategized. He sent gifts ahead, split up his family, prayed desperate prayers, tried to soften the blow of a past mistake with present generosity, but nothing settled the storm inside him. And that night, alone at the river, Jacob wasn't just preparing to meet Esau, he was about to meet God. The camp was quiet. His wives and children had crossed the river. The animals, the servants, the wealth, gone to the other side. Jacob stayed behind, to be alone with his thoughts. But in the stillness, something stirred. Out of the shadows came a man, unnamed, unannounced, and without warning, he attacked. Jacob didn't have time to ask who he was. There were no introductions, no weapons, no words, just struggle, pain, resistance. This was no ordinary fight. This wasn't Esau. This wasn't a thief. This was something deeper, something spiritual. It was a battle that had been waiting his whole life. A battle against fear, guilt, insecurity, identity. Jacob wasn't just wrestling a stranger. He was wrestling every lie he had ever told, every mask he had worn, every part of him that had manipulated, deceived, and run. They fought all night. The stranger didn't overpower him, but Jacob couldn't win either. At one point, the man touched his hip, and it dislocated instantly. Pain shot through Jacob's body. He fell, but he didn't let go. "I won't let you go," Jacob said, clinging through the agony. "Not unless you bless me." The stranger paused, then asked one question. "What is your name?" Jacob. The name meant heel grabber, supplanter, deceiver, and in saying it, he confessed everything. He was owning who he had been. Then the man spoke words that would echo through eternity. "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel. For you have wrestled with God and with man, and have prevailed." The sun began to rise. Jacob limped away from the river. Same face, new name, same past, new future. He was no longer defined by deceit. He had faced God, faced himself, and survived. And what about Esau? When the brothers finally met, Esau didn't bring revenge. He ran to Jacob and embraced him. Jacob didn't just reconcile with his brother. He reconciled with the part of himself that thought he was unworthy of love, of forgiveness, of transformation. God didn't change Jacob's past. He changed Jacob. Sometimes the battles we fear most aren't the ones coming toward us. They're the ones rising within us. That night wasn't about Esau. It was about identity, about surrender, about letting go of the version of ourselves that can't walk into the future God has prepared. So, if you feel like you're in the middle of a fight right now, if you're wrestling with guilt, shame, fear, identity, remember this. God doesn't wrestle with you to destroy you. He wrestles to change you, to rename you, to rewire you, to remove what was so he can release what's next. Before the blessing comes, the breaking. Before the purpose comes, the pain. Before the sunrise, the struggle. But hold on, because a new name is coming. And when you walk into your destiny, even if you limp, you'll walk in power. You'll walk in purpose, and you'll never be the same again. If this story moved you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs hope in their darkest hour. There's purpose in the pain, and someone needs to hear that the battle isn't the end, it's just the beginning.